Welcome back to the channel. This is KDS Reviews. This is not really a review of a particular movie or DVD release. This is about summer blockbusters. Now, it wasn't always this way where they had all these tentpole movies. It really started, well, you'll see as we go along, where this actually started at. The movie that they had up at the beginning of the summer months. And they considered Memorial Day the beginning of summer. So let's talk about it. This right here was one of the highest grossing movies of all time. Matter of fact, it was the highest grossing movie for a long time. That's E.T., starring Henry Thomas. Now, this is also the story of an alien that gets here and all the sciences that they did to study the alien. They changed those things in this movie, too, also. You know, where instead of the guns they had, they changed it to walkie-talkies. See here, we got a box set here. Look at that right there. Got some background scenes here. And here we got a fold-out booklet. One of the famous pictures of it. Drew Barrymore right there. She was a little girl. That's E.T. At number 9, we got The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser. And some behind the scenes behind it, building a better mummy, and an in-depth look in the creative and technical process that brought us to this heart-stopping visual effects of the film. Now, this movie right here has a lot of good special effects in it. It's a really good story. It's a really good rewatch, too. I just watched this movie maybe about a month ago again. It holds up really, really well. Good action pieces. Never takes itself seriously, but it's really, really good. That's The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser. Here, number 8, got a classic. We always got a classic. This movie right here kind of reminds me of the summer. It's Rubber Without a Cause with James Dean. Said one of the most influential performances in movie history, James Dean plays the new kid in town whose loneliness, frustration, and anger mirrored those post-war teens, still reverberate 50 years later. Also starring Natalie Wood, Salmonello, right here. You know, James Dean only made a handful of movies before he was killed, before he died in a car wreck, actually during the making of Giant. And I believe this one and Giant were released after his death. You know, it's a really good movie. It shows his acting range in this movie right here. You know, especially if you're a teen, like which I was when I first saw this movie, kind of identify yourself with him and his cool red jacket. That's James Dean in Rubber Without a Cause. Up next, here's one which had a sequel not that long ago, Top Gun, starring Tom Cruise. Now, I remember when this movie came out, the Navy actually had recruiters, you know, out in the lobby, you know, recruit because people got all interested in being a fighter pilot, not really knowing that it's nothing like this movie really here. You know, some of the things he did in this movie, yeah, that had happened in real life, they would have kicked him out of the Navy. But it had a great soundtrack, you know, like the opening theme there with Kenny Loggins. Had a good sequel, you know, many years later, Top Gun Maverick. That's Top Gun, starring Tom Cruise. Here's one here, to me, actually it was better than the original one that came out. It's Batman Returns. This is also a Christmas movie with Michael Keaton here, Danny DeVito, Christopher Walken, and Michelle Pfeiffer. To me, it's really, really good. I like the opening sequence in here in the snow and the Penguin's henchmen and everything. And it's got Pee Wee Herman that played the father of Oswald Cobblepot. That's the Batman Returns, starring Michael Keaton. Now we're going to get into the big ones here. Here, another one. Ultimate summer movie right here. Ultimate summer movie. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I saw this movie, wow. My dad worked at the theater here, locally around town, close by where I live at. I must have seen this movie about 13 times. This is a great, like a serial, it plays like a 50 serials action swashbuckling film. You know, it's got a lot of good action, a lot of good humor in it. Behind the scenes here, they covered the Indie Trilogy, A Crystal Clear Appreciation, The Meaning of the Melting Face. So the storyboard of the snakes, you know, snakes, it always got to be snakes. That's Indiana, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Up next, got one here. Haven't seen it in a while. I need to get a rewatch of it. I just purchased it not that long ago. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, also directed by Steven Spielberg. This is a good movie here that has Richard Dreyfuss in it, where these aliens land, and it's not like, they're attacking the Earth and everybody's destroying everything, and they're destroying each other. This just shows you how it probably really would happen. The scientists study them. They try to get onto the board of the ship. This is a special edition where they actually show you the inside of the ship of the Close Encounters. It's widescreen. It's a great movie right here. And it seems to me this one is more realistic. So every time they have an alien movie, they're all here attacking. They got guns. They're trying to take over the planet, trying to enslave humans. No, they're just like us. They're just aliens. That's Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Another great movie. Another great one as far as drive-in theater. Now we're down to the final three. These are heavyweights. These are some of the best movies ever made, too. I remember the build-up to this movie right here. There was a tremendous build-up to this movie. I went and saw this movie right here. It was sold out several times. When I walked out and saw it, I felt like walking right back in. That's Avengers Infinity War, greatest comic book movie ever made. I mean, this movie it blew my mind when I saw this movie. There had like 30 heroes in this movie, and they snap at the end. Like Thanos here, the battle here at the end of the movie, and people's reaction, they couldn't believe it. He snapped, half the universe disappeared. Half the heroes disappeared. It's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. Like I said, it's the greatest comic book movie of all time. That's Avengers Infinity War. Now we're down to the two biggest summer blockbusters ever made, and you're going to be surprised at who it turned out to be. Now, number two, Star Wars. Now, this is what this is about. This is I never even heard about this, never even seen it. Matter of fact, I didn't even see it. I'm going to tell you who told me to go see this movie. Of all people, it was my mom. There were lines around the theater. This movie sold out every weekend. It was played at the drive-in theater in my town, and the drive-in theater sold out. Now, how many times have you ever heard of a drive-in theater selling out? We're going to discuss drive-in movies later on this year. I mean, this movie was in the theater at least, if I'm not mistaken, at least 2 years it was in the theater. It was the number one highest grossing movie of all time for decades until Avatar overtook it. That's Star Wars, greatest science fiction movie of all time. If Star Wars is number two, then what could be the number one summer blockbuster? This movie introduced the word summer blockbuster. It came out of nowhere. It was partially filmed around this area in Pensacola, Florida, where this show was filmed at. I wonder what it could be. One of the stars and one of the other ones, Richard Dreyfuss. Who could that be? It's Jaws, right here. I'm going to say it, the best movie that Steven Spielberg made. Not Schindler's List, not Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws. Perfect casting. Robert Shaw and Roy Scheider also. The theme music by John Williams. This is an ultimate movie right here. This movie never gets old. I can recite every line from this movie. It's one of the greatest movies here. The number one summer blockbuster. I mean, it was number one for months and months and months and months. This is the one that introduced all the term tentpole movie, summer blockbuster, was Jaws. Remember, KDS Reviews is seen every Wednesday and every Thursday and every Wednesday and every Sunday. If you like this type of content, then like, subscribe, and share. Put some comments down here below. What summer blockbusters do you remember as a kid growing up? Movies that you couldn't, blew your mind, that you never seen before. But they had, McDonald's toys to go with it. This is KDS Reviews, and I will see you in the next video.